Leafs Talk. JD Bunkis, Sam McKee. We're back. It's the return of Leafs Talk. Let's put it that way. All right. It's the return of Leafs Talk. And what a way to come back. So you always hear about I don't even know if these are really a thing anymore, but it used to be that there'd be a game over, right? And the guys in the media box would write their stories. And then sometimes there was an industry term called a rewrite, which is
rewrite. Oh, yeah.
The second the game shifts drastically late, the writers hate it because they got to tear up their stories and rewrite under extreme duress. That was tonight, brother. The rewrite game.
Can I ask you, does the third period excuse period 1 and 2?
No.
Because, oh my God. Like I sent this tweet, and I'm going to say it here too for people who don't follow me on Twitter. One of the calling cards of this era of Leafs hockey has been their inability to play with desperation until there is a deficit. And it's something that, like, I know a lot of teams do. And I know that, like, it's not just unique to the Toronto Maple Leafs, but it has been one of the more infuriating calling cards of this era of Leafs hockey. And I'm sure Berube ripped paint off the wall in between the second and third. But what, he didn't do that in the first and second?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just, it's a really, really remarkable trait of this team that's been when Babs was the coach, when Keefe was the coach, now when Berube is the coach. I guess there's some common denominators. Probably starts with the guy wearing the C and maybe number 34 and 88 and 91. There's some of the similar people around. It's just wild. I don't get it. They were so good in the third period.
So I got complicated feelings about this game, okay?
Yeah, so do I. So do I, brother.
And I will say this too. I still have Blue Jay trauma left over that was bleeding into the Maple Leafs. And I was actually, I'll just be honest. Sometimes I really hate the criticism of the media wants to just be negative because they think it's good for clicks.
If it bleeds, it leads. You just want clicks.
But I don't know how many times I have to say this to our audience, but when the teams are good, the numbers are bananas. And when the teams are bad, they're in the toilet, and we struggle as an industry. Yes. There's like nothing further from the truth than the concept that people have that the media wants the team to be bad. Tonight, though, I was ready to just dump all my Blue Jay trauma onto this hockey team.
Totally.
And just shred them after 2 periods. I got vicious things in the notes tonight that I was ready to just like go one by one for 45 minutes and eviscerate. And I feel kind of like blocked that they did this to me, that I can't just dump the same way that I wanted to because I wanted to. Sometimes people want the team to be bad. After the second period, I went, good. I kind of needed this tonight. And they robbed me of it. So I'll try to be somewhat positive because they did win and the period was great. But I do want to just quickly touch on your point. I tweeted something similar. I tweeted like, it'd be nice if they had this urgency a little bit more often. And tonight is just such an obvious example that trying matters and that all the criticism that these guys get constantly by the unks like you and I, right? We are officially unk status. And the boomers and the uncles and everybody that comes at them is right. They don't try consistently enough. It's the biggest issue of this team. They've got a lot of talent up front, but the dudes don't apply it consistently enough for whatever reason. I think they care. I think they want to win, but they don't have that gear often enough that you saw in that third period, which was, you're right, brilliant.
It's hard to sit here and say that they were giving the A effort after watching the difference between the period 2 and period 3.
Dude, they didn't get 10 shots until the third period.
Like, sure, they are a worse team than they were last year. There's no question, right? Not having Mitch Marner on the team makes you a worse team. Yeah. You have guys that are underperforming underneath them that you needed to kind of fill in that production. They've been worse, no question. But they're not that bad. Like, they're not what they showed through the first 2 periods. And then to have it flip like that, it's incredibly infuriating. So, yeah, I mean, you're bang on there, but I just, it was remarkable to see how bad it was. And then to see how good it was. It's just, it was a remarkable difference.
Well, the only thing I will say that scares me about this game is that the identity offensively is still Matthews and Nylander take over, but now there's one less guy that can offensively dominate a hockey game.
Wow. You're forgetting one other guy that's offensively
Robertson
taking over every night now.
Yeah, Robertson.
Who needs Marner when you got 89, bud? Holy smokes.
Robertson was great and driving
So
the net.
good.
He created the McMahon goal purely. Bobby McMahon should be thanking him tonight going, hey man, there were conversations about me before this game. There was some weirdness with Berube talking about whether or not he was a healthy scratch. I was texting you saying, I think that he is an automatic healthy scratch for the next game because he is just not really doing much. And he finds the back of the net thanks to Nick Robertson on a game winner. And you go, well, that'll cure a couple of your ailments.
But so to go back to just, 100%. But I was just thinking about one of the first ideas we had for this show. We were hashing out things and, talking about stuff that we wanted to do, the worst take of the night or group chat confidential after 2 periods tonight would have been one of the best group chat confidential segments of all time because buddy,
I don't think group chat confidential is wrong tonight.
No, they're not. But when you win the game like that, it's like I was getting the doom and gloom AMAC messages. I was getting the messages from every single person in my life,
bro,
that just have the Jays trauma like you do and I do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, partially that, but they've also performed. I will say this about the negative. They've done this too many times already this season. The lack of urgency for a team that should have some urgency. There's too many new guys that should be trying to prove themselves on this team. How is Michelli not dying to prove himself when he was scratched for the entirety of a season with Utah and got an opportunity with the Leafs? How is Dakota Joshua not trying to desperately prove that he is a different guy? How is Nick Waugh not desperately trying to prove that he shouldn't have been the guy that got casted away from a Vegas Golden Knights team that was having a lot of success? How is how is Max Domi not dying to prove that he can be a replacement for Marner? How are Matthews and Nylander not dying to prove that they can do it without Mitch Marner and that they were slighted by Mitch Marner? And I think that's what the most aggravating part of watching the way that they played for 2 periods is, and then watching them just turn it on in the third is there is talent there. They can take over hockey games. They're slower this season. They're slower. They're older. The balance is not perfect. One of the plays with this team was clearly to be deeper. And that's kind of connected to the issue that I have with sort of the Stars taking over the game. They should be leading and they should be the head of the snake, obviously, but it just still feels a little too empty throughout the lineup. But man, oh man, I really hope that this carries through to the following game and that we start to see this a little bit more and that they've unlocked something, because nothing is going to be frustrating more than seeing these guys show up on Wednesday night against the Mammoth, another young, hungry team, and completely dog it for 2 periods again and hope that they can replicate this formula.
Yeah, no, they can't. But the thing is, when you see you get away with it, you start to wonder if you could do it.
Yeah, you're the bad kid.
Yeah, you're the bad kid. You're like, I wonder what I can get away with tonight and still be okay.
But you're the bad kid who the parents like, who's funny.
Correct.
Where it's like you do bad things and then they kind of go, oh, you little scamp.
Get over here.
Yeah. Oh, you get out of here. You're not the
That was me, literally me on Real Kipper and Born today. That was literally me. When Kipper's like, we're doing 25 minutes of Jays off the top. I was like, please God, no, Kipper.
That was me thinking I just watched the Blue Jays lose in heartbreaking fashion.
Yeah.
And now I'm back on Leafs talk consistently, and I'm going to have to discuss a group that plays the way that they did through 2 periods tonight. So yeah, let's get into the good, because I think that the bad is obvious and clear. They were awful. They're just they like no offensive identity, flipping pucks, lazy, some horrific turnovers,
man.
Getting killed in the neutral zone. Penguins just kicked their ass in this game, man. Like that was a proper drubbing through 2 periods. And I'll actually start with this. A little shout out to Stolars, because I've been watching the games. Okay. I know Papa's been away, but I've been watching the games, grinding during the afternoons, hungover after Blue Jays games, in bed going, God, this team stinks. And I've watched it. I've seen everything. I've been watching it all. Stolarz hasn't been great. He hasn't been crisp. And I think the fan base is starting to have some murmurs about the guy. They could have easily been completely out of this hockey game if he doesn't come up with a few extra saves. He was the only guy playing through 2 periods. I didn't like the power play goal, if I'm bang on honest. It's too clean from, it's the 3rd goal of the game.
Yeah.
It just beats him on the crossbar. He's clearly got to look at it. Didn't love that one. The other 2, 0 issue. It's like one's a weird high stick play. The other, like nothing you're going to do. But
bar down on by Carlson. That was a nasty shot.
Carlson off the rust. Beautiful pass by Sid. That one's the only one I would quibble with. But overall, Stolarz in this game, he gave them a fighting chance to come back in this hockey game. So good for him during a period of time where a lot of people are kind of doubting who he was last year and whether the workload's too much.
So what was it's Forsland, right? Forsland, Hickey, and Jody Shelley, who we had on our show today, that are the analysts for this game. And he came across with the blocker and I'm not sure who it was that he got, but absolutely robbed somebody to keep it 3-1 or 3-0. And he came flying across. And that's the thing about him. He's still competing. He's still fighting in there. He's still trying to, this is the play right here at the end of the second period. It's an excellent save. And you're thinking like, oh, that's pretty much meaningless at this point. But they kind of pointed out like the remember that save one. Anyways, we don't have to show it or whatever, but there was a huge save where he made it. And it just kind of showed me like this guy, a lot of his team isn't competing. Like they're just losing every battle. They're turning over every puck. They're not completing a pass. They're not getting any shots on net. They're not doing anything where you're playing, like having any chance to win a hockey game. But your goalie, who's like watching this happen in front of you and getting peppered and watching you lose every battle, still in there in the fight, still sprawling across to make saves, still fighting around every screen. I just respect the hell out of the guy.
Yeah,
like,
dude,
he hasn't been perfect to start this year. I understand it. I think he's seen a lot of grade A chances this year while they've tried to figure out their defensive zone coverage, which, boy, it has been not pretty at times this year for most of the season, actually. And this is right at the start of the 3rd period, right? And that's a huge save. Sprawls across, keeps it 3-0. And I think the next shift is when Matthews gets sprung and goes in and beats Jari. So I just, we've been Stolarz guys since the first preseason game of last year. We both were like, this is the guy. I love this guy. I love the way he competes. And they needed him tonight. This game easily could have been 6 or 7-0 if he wasn't on. They were peppering them.
He didn't get the contract of a number 1 plays 60 games goaltender for a reason. There's obviously going to be question marks about whether or not he can handle this workload. What I would say, have the goals against been great at times this season? Absolutely not. He has clearly got some ownership for this team's struggles. But to go back to one of the negatives before we go back over the 3rd period, you said it, dude. Their D-zone coverages and some of the turnovers that they have. Carlo had one tonight that, like, he just had no one even around him and flipped the puck right onto Penguins player's stick that created a 2-on-1 opportunity. And you're like, what the hell is that? But they just look so discombobulated at times. No ability to break the puck out. Guys seem to be getting switched up all over the ice. They get stuck out there for way too long and guys gas out. They give up grade A opportunities. If your thought is, hey, the Leafs had continuity, and I know there's no Tanev, but that, hey, they had continuity from a year ago, and hey, Morgan Riley's going to step up because he's in better shape. I would say if you're looking at problem areas, there's quite a few. But yeah, like the lack of offensive punch and identity is clearly one of them. But the blue line and just how they were supposed to be rock solid to how they play defensively a year later as a team is, I would say, the weirdest. Like, you could have anticipated the drop off in the goal scoring, losing Marner, right? And like mixing in new guys. You could have anticipated Stolarz not being as good without Joe Woll splitting the net with him and riding whoever's the hotter hand in net. What I didn't think people saw coming is what they would look like as a team defensively through the first portion of the game and how often it can just be the other team completely hemming them in.
Yeah, no, it's, I mean, it's not just on the decor for me though, bud.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I was saying team defense.
The team defense, it's just, they just seem so far apart when the
Yeah.
play's coming up against them, right? Like when the puck gets turned over anywhere near the neutral zone, it just feels like they don't know who's supposed to cover who, and
they don't have the speed to recover.
There's a 10-foot gap between the defense and the forwards who are trying to come back, and there's all these wide open shots at the top of the slot. So they got to get that figured out. Like they are now 2 games above 500 with this win tonight, right? I think that brings them to 7-5-1.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, there's
the whole league's record.
Yeah, great. Gary's wet dream. Every team is mid. Perfect. Exactly what he wanted.
Yeah, I know.
So,
no team stands out.
No team is good. Everyone mid, please, except for the Habs, of course, who just like win every game in the most exciting fashion at the buzzer every single night. And Demidov flies around and Cole Caulfield scores in overtime. Except for them, they look pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. So can we go back to a positive?
Well,
you mentioned Carlo.
Yeah, okay.
You mentioned Carlo, and I've been really hard on him this year. I think for good reason. He hasn't been very good. But I thought at the end of the game, 6-on-5, he absolutely eats 2 pucks to seal the victory. The first one killed him. Like it was a hard shot. You could hear him yell. He gets back in the fight, battles in front of the net, goes below the dots, goes down along the board, still tries to fight away, gets back into position, eats another one, and then Matthews makes a play, actually breaks Malkin's stick on a slash, and they get it out of the zone. But I thought there hasn't been a ton of positives for Carlo this year, but you know, he can still block shots, and he's a huge body. He's good defensively. So I thought that was good to point out because it was a huge part of the game to block those 2 shots, keep him away from the net. 6 shot blocks for Carlo tonight. That's what you need from him to be in the right area. And like the turnovers still aren't great. He's still never going to snap a breakout pass, but it was nice to see him do those in the end of that game.
Well, and I just think like in the transition stuff is killer for me too. And if I'll add like a tiny little small thing to the Carlo positives, who again, I actually think I was going to lead the show with who popped tonight because through 2 periods, I just thought like nobody did really anything through 2 periods. I can summarize the positive Leaf plays outside of a couple of Stolarz saves. There was a nice Sammy Blais hit where he pissed off Sidney Crosby, and Nick Robertson made a pass where Bobby McMahon missed a wide open net, and it was a nice little play. That's it. That's all I have in my notes that I was like,
end of list.
That was it. That's all I had on the list of positive plays for them through 2 periods.
Believe me, I know I wasn't flicking. I was trapped in Amazon. There was no flick and miss anything tonight. I was locked in, brother. Yeah. I was trapped. There was no escaping.
No, there's none. There's no Monday Night Football. You're just trapped in.
I'm not sprinkling in any, Pacers, Pacers and Bucks. I'm not sprinkling in anything else.
Did see
I'm locked in
though, and
tough move, man.
Yeah,
that really was nice. Kobe-esque.
Yeah, very nice stuff. Okay. I'm really hoping that this is a huge night for Matthews and Nylander, that this was a little bit of whatever was said in that dressing room. Here's my hope. Okay. I don't know if this is true. I have no idea. I would love it if one of the reporters would ask this question about, and I'm sure it will be like, what was said during the second intermission after those 2 horrible penalty or periods.
Yeah.
My hope is that it actually wasn't Berube. My hope is that it was Matthews and Nylander. One of those 2 guys said a thing and then went out there and led by example. And Matthews snaps that first one in the net. Beautiful pass by Jake McCabe, who finds him a little bit of a broken coverage by the Penguins, who weirdly it's Sidney Crosby. Yeah. Who's just like watching and knows it right away and is like, crap. Nice little goal by Matthews. But then Matthews just turned it on, man. It was buzzing. And it felt like his buzz was infectious to Nylander. And then those guys just caved in the Penguins for the rest of the period. They had no answer for those 2. They were dominant.
I should have got Luke to cut this, but this was not even my favorite part of the Matthews third period.
No, not even close.
My favorite part of the Matthews third period was
block shot
after Sammy Blais took that idiotic penalty.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Great on the PK.
He made a play on 2 consecutive plays where there was one near the Leafs blue line where I don't know who it was, maybe Carlson. Oh, here, nice, good job. Where he just buries a guy on the battle here, like just uses his body, just absolutely cleans him out, and then the puck comes back in, and he wins another battle coming up here to get the puck out. This is when he's at his best, is when he's making the reads, he's using his stick plus he's never going to run a guy over, but when he's like using his size and stick and strength, it's just, you know what it looks like. And this is what it looks like.
Well,
that's just big time on the penalty kill.
Yeah, dude, I totally agree. To extend that point, I was most impressed with not his goal, but the offensive zone play that he had on the Nylander backhand goal. It's like, who's out there digging at pucks? Who's out there retrieving it, turning guys over? Man, it kind of gets lost because we've had so many Matthews conversations, right? Like, hey, the lack of physicality. Of course, we talk about his defense so much that sometimes it gets a little nauseating and you go, okay, yeah, but isn't he paid to score the goals?
Mm-hmm.
The moves that he has with the sticks to turn guys over, that little stick lift play, it's as good as anybody in the game when he's dialed in and he can close.
But he hasn't done it nearly as much as he used to.
Completely
That's been missing. That's been missing.
But that was back in the third period tonight where they were really hunting offense against the Penguins. And I just liked that there wasn't quit, that a lot of their problem this season has been, it's like dump and chase and then, or it's one and done offense. It's a lazy shot from the outside that misses the net and the other team is breaking it out in transition and the Leafs look slow. I just loved how Matthews, Nylander, and I'll throw Nyes in this too, because I thought that he was solid as well, that those three guys kind of worked down low, retrieved pucks, and created havoc around the net with multiple different opportunities. And that's what led to the goals tonight.
Yeah, totally agree. Do you have anything else on Matthews?
Nope.
Robertson. So Craig Simpson came on our show. I don't know when it was. The time's a flat circle with the Jays, but within the last week or so, came on our show on Friday, one of the Fridays, and said they should put Robertson on the top line. He literally said that. I think it was the second Buffalo game, maybe, when Willie was hurt, and they've put Robertson up there and they've been moving him back and forth, and he's a different player. It's unbelievable. I don't know if it's going to go away.
Somebody over tonight.
I don't know if it's going to disappear. Maybe it will. Maybe this like little flash in the pan will be just that. And we're getting like tricked again by Nick Robertson. Cause boy, have we been tricked. You want me to
make a wager? Like, come on. Like it.
I don't know. Yeah. He just looks awesome. He's never looked as good as he looks right now in his career. Right? Will you give me that?
No,
you won't give me that.
I won't give you that. He's had little stretches like this before, 2-3 games where he's looked really good.
This good?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I just feel like
he scored quite a few goals, man. Like I
just think this is the best he's ever looked. Yeah. And he's playing and he's confident and he's excited to be playing in a big role. And he knows that his role is growing on this team. He's not afraid of like making a mistake that's going to end him up in the press box, because there's no way they're going to put him back in the press box now for at least a couple weeks. It feels like I don't know, maybe they will because they want to get the scratch and score on him. But I don't know. It really feels like this may be a stepping stone. I'm getting tricked. I
hope so. Listen,
I'll say I've been Robertson tricked if this is not real.
There is nothing I would love more than the Leafs to have another player with offensive talent who can play with real consistency. I've seen a lot of this guy, and we have seen highs and lows. And even if I'm not like giving it to you, where I guess the difference is like, sure, is this the best that he's played? Maybe, but because maybe it's as good as he's ever played. I need it to be over a 15 to 20 game sample size before my opinion is going to start to drastically change on the player. What I will say that has been the most encouraging part of Robertson is that wherever they've put him, he's kind of popped. And I feel as though he has done a better job at creating offense for himself and not just being like the guy that gets the puck off the rush or the guy that's setting up for a one-timer. Like even tonight, it's a little play where he drives the net and he creates the offense. And I don't think that's been a huge calling card of his game off the cycle. You know, it's been something obviously off the rush. He'll go to the net or he'll fly by and he'll set up for the one-timer or whatever. But yeah, he's looked good, man. He should be very proud of the way that he's playing right now. And yeah, I didn't have very many positive notes for the Leafs through 2 periods, but yeah, I thought he was such a low bar, but I thought he was their best guy through 2.
Yeah. Like I was looking forward to Robertson shifts.
Yeah.
Like me. That's the point I'm at with the Leafs. I was like, can we get 89 back out there? Like, holy smokes.
Yeah.
He's the only one popping. And like, if you've ever listened to the show for any period of time, you know that is a surprising opinion from your boy. Because I'm not sure there's been a player I've been more hard on than this guy. And God, he's really, Patty Mafia says, I'm just glad Robertson is gaining trade value. I mean, if you trade him now.
No, there's no trade value. The trade value stays the same. What I will say, though, is like, he's actually making himself untradeable with the way he's playing, because for a team that's hunting to find offense, like, it should not be forgotten that the Leafs had 8 shots through 2 periods of this hockey game.
8 shots is crazy. What did they end up finishing with? Like,
I think 20.
It's got to be under 20.
No. It was over 20.
Was it?
I think they had 14 shots in the second or in the third period.
I'm just looking right now.
Could be wrong. They finished with 20 shots, Luke?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. 20 shots, 37 to 20. Yeah. 12 in the third. Yeah.
Yeah. So they got to the 20 mark. They made it somewhat respectable. One of my biggest takes for this team so far this season is like the offensive identity in terms of spreading it out through the lineup just has not been there. Hey, we're going to add more talent and other guys are going to be more impactful and they're going to feel like more of a team. Yeah. It just hasn't been a thing. And so Robertson's popping right now. You ride that till the wheels fall off. Like you really do. Yeah.
You're press. You're hitting on 15 right now. You're pressing, baby.
Like I just said this to you, but there should be way more urgency with the group, right? Like there's a lot of guys on this team that should be dying to prove something. Who's done anything on this team? Like if you're Matthews and you're Nylander and you're taking some regular season nights off, fine, whatever. Even though, again, you should still have a lot to prove because of the way people question you. Yeah. But if you're Nyes, you got to prove you're worth that new contract. Like you go through the roster, there's nobody on there where it's like, hey, like Chris Tanev, that's the guy you would say, well, he's done enough. He's kind of proven himself throughout his career, and he would probably disagree with that. I think Robertson falls pretty high on that list. A lot of people don't know if he's an NHL player consistently, like whether he can perform in the postseason. He's been scratched his entire tenure with the Maple Leafs, and he's had flashes, but they've gone away. So for him, the thing now is, can you prove that you can maintain it? And I do like the urgency that he's playing with amongst a group of guys that I think pretty inconsistently are showing that.
Yep, totally. Any other big things for you?
Well, the power play shuffle.
I can't do this every night.
I know it comes up.
I can't do this every night, brother.
Yeah.
They're 30th. They stink.
Yeah.
Next.
Well, can I just say one thing?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. If you're going to switch it up, how is it that Easton Cowan is the guy that comes up and Nyes comes out and they're like, that's the solution? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. What I will say,
it's a half measure, bud.
Like of all the guys that you're going to put up there, it just feels a little too forced with Easton Cowan in that spot where you're going, look at our shiny new toy. He's the future. And you go, yeah, okay. And I actually like the way that he moves around on the power play. Like he's got legs to him and he's got a little bit of that Marner jitterbug to him, but I need that explained to me as
just
to what
God,
exactly. If you're going to do another forward, give me somebody who I know is an elite passer who can create lanes for the 2 shooters that you have out there to be able to rip clean shots. So yeah, I want that explained. I just want to know what the thought process is behind putting a rookie kid onto power play 1 that's struggling and say, don't.
Can I do the coach's explanation? Well, he's very direct and he wins battles and he gets.
Yeah, so does Matthew Nyes.
He's very direct. He's direct, simple, 5-foot plays, direct, simple.
Yeah.
There you go. I just explained it for you.
Great. I don't agree. Tavares' point streak snapped.
Yeah. Too bad.
Yeah.
I would say that my favorite thing that I saw on the weekend sports-wise was his reaction to Easton Cowan's goal.
Yeah.
Made me almost tear up. It's not because I watched it on the game on Sunday afternoon and I was lying in bed almost in tears from the Jays. Maybe that's why it made me tear up, but I just thought that was so beautiful.
Yeah.
Love Johnny T.
No, I have no other. I just checked the notes. I have no other major talk.
Quick rapid fired for me.
Yeah.
I got the guys to pick this up. I love Phil Myers apologizing to Sid after he cross-checked him.
I like that too.
He was like, he was in the heat of a battle and he cross-checked him. And then he was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. It's Sid. Like that's there's not a ton of guys I would accept that about, but you're Phil Myers, he's Sidney Crosby. You better apologize. Like, it's so good. I'm sorry.
I do love
that. Me too, man.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah. Phil Myers for the Lady Bing. Yeah. Phil Myers and Simone Benoit. Not my favorite viewing experience.
Dude, the Benoit turnover it was the first goal, right? That Sid flies down and sets up Eric
Borny
Karlsson.
calls him a soup sandwich, and it's the best thing you could ever call him. He's just all over the place.
See, I thought our nickname, yours,
Lafleur?
Simon Lafleur. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But like, he's so all over the place.
Yeah.
God, that's a nice shot by Karlsson.
Yeah.
Like he's a guy that
Sid too.
He's a guy that needs a real
that Sid just looks like Sid still too.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I thought he got caved in a little bit in the third period. Wasn't his best, but man, he's just still dropping dimes. That pass cross ice to Karlsson in stride for that bar down, head up. Like, could that have been in a better sweet spot?
No,
that's as good as it gets.
But buddy, Sid is going to do that until he just can't skate anymore.
Yeah, they'll put him in a wheelchair out there. They'll be dropping dimes. It doesn't matter.
That will never go away.
No, you're right.
Everything will leave at some point. That was my only little quick Sid take was, you're right about the third. He was definitely a part of the Pens collapse.
Yeah,
but made me feel good about Olympics watching Sid tonight and just still got it, baby. You still got it.
Yeah, he'll look great with Celebrini on his wing.
I hope so.
Well, they played together at the World Championships, and he had nothing but great things to say about him. So
yeah, Celebrini's got to be on the team.
Celebrini has I mean, I know he's your boy, and I would say that my Bedard stock portfolio has been looking a little better recently.
Yeah, for sure. But
shooting it in a little bit.
But it's so weird because we like picked the two guys that are first overall picks. And we're like, we saw these two guys being good.
I watched him in the juniors.
Yeah. But yeah, I would consider myself to be a pretty big Celebrini.
He reminds me of Sid.
Yeah.
Like, he really has a lot of Sid to him.
The thing I just like about Celebrini, we shouldn't be doing this.
Let's just go. But you want to go or what?
Yeah. Well, I just gotta say that he has that Canadian dog in him where I like that he's a young guy that has the pass the torch dog, cares, plays the right way.
Passion.
Yeah. He's got the passion. All right.
Yeah.
Nothing else for me. I'm back now. I was off for Jay's stuff.
Where are you?
I don't even know how many I missed. I think I missed 4 in a row.
No, I don't think maybe you did.
3?
I don't know. Well, I mean, we missed 2 full out, and then I did 2 with guns, and then we missed Saturday night, obviously, and then this is our first batch, so I think it was 4.
Yeah, but we're back now. All right.
Yeah,
like, it's back. Like
I would say that you did a fabulous job covering the Jays. I'm really proud of you, buddy. I was listening every day. Your pregame shows rocked. I was,
today was the worst day of my career. I will say.
Of course, I did not listen to you today. I would never ever be able to do that. Like the worst part about this is I can't listen to any podcast I like because it's just like, of course,
you're my best friend. We went to most of the games together, and we didn't talk. Like, this is the first time we're really talking since the loss.
That's
our way. That's the hardest thing about this job.
Did you not feel better after you talked about it though? Because I did. Like, I didn't talk. Here's the thing. Allie's gone. I literally laid in bed 48 hours alone, no words. Yeah. Like, I didn't even turn anyone.
Ennis called me on Sunday and asked me how I was doing. And I realized that it was 4:00 in the afternoon and I hadn't turned on a single light in my apartment. And I was watching football in bed on my laptop. The same guy.
Jesus, we're the same guy.
I was just staring
and crying.
I'm telling you right now, I watched at least 10 hours of football yesterday, and I'm doing a football segment tomorrow. And I got to prep tonight to be like, what did I actually watch? I was staring right through that. I turned on the Raptors, same thing. And I was like, yeah, nothing's working. I can't.
No, it doesn't work.
I need my fix, brother. Like, I need something. And
I'll just continue to watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine reruns, no phone.
I would have killed. Nothing would have been greater for me to do no sports for a week, at least.
Oh,
like,
like a sabbatical after that
Yeah,
would have been
yeah,
like
yeah.
2-week vacation starting Monday.
Brother, you know me. I would have loved nothing more than to just like watch classic movies
Yeah.
over. I would have fired up the Matrix trilogy and dove right back into the world
Oh,
for
man.
hours on end. And by the way, it's the Matrix trilogy because the fourth one is so bad. It's not.
It's so funny you say this because I'm in a group chat with a bunch of guys that always has like a different name. It was like Jason 6, Jason 7, all this different stuff. It's now called Film Reviews.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, sports are canceled.
Yeah, no,
Anyways,
listen,
thanks to the
I
sickest.
need this win tonight. Thanks,
Yeah.
Leafs. I
Yeah,
needed
thanks,
this.
Leafs. Yeah, that was nice. That was nice
Yeah.
that it was. I wouldn't have mind the vent, but whatever. Anyway, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at JD Bunkis, at Sam McKee. We always like it when you reach out. Helps us keep the pulse. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit the thumbs up for God's sakes. It takes 1 second. Leave a comment if you'd like. And yeah, subscribe to the podcast, review the podcast, do all those things. And we will see you Wednesday night against the Mammoth.